Hey, y'all. So, as promised, I've been wanting to do this for a minute, but I want to go over this whole good rate, bad rate myth. I want to go a little bit deeper into inbound, outbound freight rates, traffic flow, dead ends, outbound freight rate or train areas, low population. So there's more loads going to these areas that pay more, but they pay less coming out, so you have to make your money going in there. These dead ends, that supply and demand I talked about. When you get down here in the bottom of Florida, midway Florida, there's only one or two ways to go, up or over. That decreases that decreases supply of loads going in all different directions. That changes your options. You have less leverage because all the trucks are trying to get out, which means supply and demand. The more something there is, the less it's worth. There's more trucks trying to get out of this dead end. There's more trucks trying to get out of this dead end in the Northeast. So the more something you have, the less it's worth. That's why you get more money going to the Northeast than you do leaving. You get more money going to Florida than you do leaving. When you get over here, low population, everything in the United States is shipped by a truck. It can get in the country on a plane or a boat. It can get across the country on a plane or a train. But in order to get to an end consumer, it has to get on a truck. The more people you have, the more demand you have, because people are buying things. They're buying food, they're buying furniture, they're buying clothing, merchandise, they're building stuff. When you get over here in these wide states, the population is less. That's why you see more farmland. You make your money going into these places, not leaving out. And also you got a lot of trains coming across here. So the trains are in competition with the trucks, as opposed to a lot of these areas is more congested. But you got long straightaways where a train can take 100, 150 trailers or containers or tankers across at possibly a cheaper rate than it will cost you as one unit. They'll get it to the yard and have a local trucker ship it. Or if you look at these original 13 colonies, these states are small as compared to these big blocks. You got a lot of people who run local in their state. So you want to take that into consideration also. But if you give me a few moments, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to lay this out, I'm going to go over some lanes, and I'm going to come back and try to help you understand why, you can't go by one load. If you are looking at one load's rate, you're looking at life as a worker. As a businessman, you want to put two loads together, an inbound and an outbound freight rate. Say for instance, if I'm in Baltimore and I'm going to New York or the Northeast, if I get 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, depending on where I'm going, that's an outbound freight rate. My inbound rates may be 800, maybe 1,000. I may luck up and get 1,200, 1,500. That's the market. If I'm going down to Florida from Baltimore, I may get 3,000. I may get 4,000, depending on the time of the year. Coming back, I may only get 2,000. Leaving Baltimore, going to Chicago, I'll make my money coming back. I may only get 1,200, 1,600, 1,800 to go to Chicago. I may get 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 to come back. But here's where the wisdom come in. It's from Baltimore to Chicago is about 1,400 to 1,500 miles. If I get 1,600 or 1,800 to go from Baltimore to Chicago, I'm roughly spending 1,200 to 1,500, depending on the type of truck and engine I have, and depending on how heavy or light the load is. Tolls and all, I'm probably 1,500 in. That 1,400, 1,600, 1,800 that I got to go covered the expenses to go and to come back. So that second load is technically all profit. So if it takes me a day in the morning to get to Chicago and I got 1,600 to go, that paid for me to go and to come back. So now when I got that 2,000, that 2,500, that 3,000 to come back, that's all profit. Then you put the two loads together. One paid for my fuel and my costs. One gave me my profits. Every single load is not going to be a home run. So I don't know where people get this good load, bad load. It's like when you look at stocks or real estate. You have buyers markets in real estate. You got sellers markets in real estate. When you look at stocks, you have bear markets. You have bull markets. It's not a situation of right and wrong, good and bad. It's a situation is, what's the reality of the market where I am right now, based upon how many trucks are available in this area in comparison to the ratio of loads and timing, and how do I get the most for the current value at today's market. So a lot of guys out here, especially on TikTok, you guys are awesome, man. I actually love y'all because y'all have catapulted me higher based on your negative comments. So thank you. It changes the algorithm, so people feed in the negative more than they do positive. But you can't say, I give you a prime example. I remember when I was younger, just to tap into my core audience, the street guys, I remember we used to get nickels a reefer, where you could roll a blunt and a half. You get 3 blunt dimes back then. You go ahead and get somebody 2 for 15, shit, you in the game. These guys now, I don't smoke weed, but these guys now, I don't even think a nickel a reefer exists. So how am I going to base my time on their time? These guys smoking $20, $30 blunts, a gram or whatever they getting, whatever they into. I'm not into that. I've been away for about 15 years, so I don't know what's happening. The point is, you can't keep talking about what freight was paying in 1980 and crying about what it's paying or not paying in 2022. You have to look at the market as it is today, assess whether it's worth your time, effort, and money, and make a decision. If it's worth it, go for it. If it's not, don't. I give you a prime example. This load I'm on right now paid $6,200. It was 1,600 miles. No tolls. I'm gonna pay like $1,400 in diesel. So even if it only paid $6,000 and I paid $1,500 in diesel, just to simplify the numbers, I still would come off with profit of, what are we talking about? 6,000, take out the 1, that's 5, 4,500. We talking about 3 days worth of work. I'm almost there. I got 228 miles left. So this place is open. I got a Sunday delivery, but they open 24 hours, so I'm gonna deliver today. What job are you guys working with $4,500 profit in a couple of days? It's not worth it. I don't get it. Whatever y'all into, let me know, because I may be interested in it. If it's profiting you as much as you claim that it is, I'm an open-minded individual. My only dispute with that is, you can't tell me something if you can't show it to me. So I give you a prime example, and then I'm not gonna hold y'all up. Here's my phone. Here's my phone right here. For all you naysayers, and for all of the supporters who've been around for the whole time, that really believe in what's happening, only believe what people can prove. No one has the right to teach anything if they can't prove what that teaching or telling works through their own personal actions. Okay, that's how I was taught. Now, a lot of these guys are out here selling information. That's their whole game. Their whole game is to sell you information to get rich. What is it? 300 or 400 units sold at 3,000 to get you over $1 million. You probably spend a few $100s making the product. So y'all just running out here buying this stuff. You can go on Google and get the majority of this information for free. Just a sidebar. But if I was just go ahead, just to give y'all a testimony, this is who I factor with. This is Tavs. So it's not gonna do it from the side. If I hit this, right, it's gonna open up my factory. Now I would be in a bad area. Okay, so you'll see 6,200, 1,540, 5,100. These are all loads that I've completed. But if you go down here and open up the client portal, give me a second for this to come on. All right. Go down here, this should show you a whole entire graph, 12 months moving backwards. As you can see, my graph is trending up. This was the slump where I had that dry van where my trailer was down with the axle being rebuilt. But if you open this will show you just off a whim, $536,000, $1,150 in a 12-month period, done solo, not with the fleet, not team driving. So when I speak to y'all, I'm speaking from experience. Not only am I speaking from experience, I'm documenting every single load. Going backwards, you can backtrack my teachings 4 years if you don't believe me. And also in my first book, How to Make $250,000 a Year with a Criminal Record and No College Degree, I have examples of loads from the load board. I have pictures of actual loads I've hauled, and I have the adjourning or adjacent, whatever the word is, rate confirmation to the load that has all the information, nothing blocked out. So I think I'm past the point of convincing people that what I'm saying is true. So January, when this New Year's start, I won't be showing any more of my personal loads. I'm going to start focusing on showing the load board so you can see the market and see what's out there in real time at the moment. But I'm also going to start getting into showing load securement, because people have caught on to trucking. Trucking's a hot topic right now, which is a good thing, which is why it's time for me to start to digress, because there's more and more people getting into it. But also, now that I got people interested in trucking, they understand there's money in it. But people want to take the easy route. They want to do dry vans. They understand there's money in flatbeds, but some people are scared to do it. So I'm going to start teaching y'all how to secure these loads, because that's the fear barrier. And you can't, it's not a one load thing, because every load that you're going to do is going to be different. So you're going to need different securement tactics. So I'll be getting into that. I'm gonna let this breathe for a little bit. I'm gonna stretch this out and show y'all the different lanes, inbound, outbound, dead ends, such as Florida and the Northeast, train areas and low population areas, so you can understand what makes freight rates fluctuate in accordance with the time of the year and weather, which I talked about yesterday. So y'all stay tuned. Until next time, peace.